Hey everyone, here for round 1 of the Modern Daily with Dredgevine. Um, don't think we can really keep this hand. Just like 6 lands and most decks aren't good, and Gravecrawler doesn't really do any much. I'd be more inclined if it was like a Faithless Looting, but I don't even think I would keep that hand. So I'm gonna take a mulligan. This hand's a lot stronger. Faithless Looting, one of the most powerful cards in the deck. The enabler, really. We don't have any dredge cards yet. Hopefully looting can find us that, or find us some lands. We have to keep this hand. It's a little speculative. We need some more lands, and we're going to need to hit some action. Okay, on the play. So I'm gonna get a blood crypt here because I want to cast Faithless Looting, and you need swamps like very badly. So like basically I just have to. There's no stomping grounds on the list, so it's the only land I can get that produces red. Okay, looting. Not the best looting, but we did get one land. We don't have a green source yet. Gonna discard the Knot of the Bone and the Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler we can play if we have a zombie in play, so if we get either of these into play, we can play Gravecrawler from the graveyard. So that's a way to like get back card disadvantage from discarding like a Gravecrawler. Search for tomorrow, so I have to say our opponent's probably playing Scapeshift. Turn 1 Forest, search for tomorrow. Not many other decks do that. Okay, hit a Dredgevine. Doesn't really do anything. We're just gonna have to pass then. This Lightning Axe shouldn't be too good then if our opponent's Scapeshift. I might even use it like on a tribal that they might play on turn 2 just to put the Dredgevine in the graveyard. Verdant Catacomb, interesting. Maybe this isn't Scapeshift? I guess it could be red-green. Or maybe even Jund, like Valakut Ramp or something. Or it could be mono-green Utopia Sprawl deck. Interesting. Naming black. Oh, is this like the Rock or something? I guess. So just like some black-green deck. Discarding our Troll, probably a good decision. Lightning Axe doesn't really do anything. Forest. Or Green Source. That's not... I mean, I would have taken any land, actually, just to flashback Faithless Looting. Question is, do I just want to just like get rid of my whole graveyard to play this Angler? I think we can't afford to, because it is so likely they'll just kill the Angler, and then our hand's just so, like, we're just never doing anything with the rest of our hand. And this Faithless Looting and the Gravecrawler in the graveyard are relevant. The Knot to the Bone, not so much right now, but... However, I would say in general, if we are playing against like some green-black rock deck, this is a favorable matchup, because they're just trying to one-for-one like grind you, like play fair magic, and we're pretty good at beating the fair strategies. That was a good draw there. Now we can get a green source. We also have our third land. I think our play this turn is going to be flashback Faithless Looting, probably discarding both our Dredgevines, and then setting up so next turn we can play an Angler, a Gravecrawler, get back our Dredgevines. So we have to get Overgrown Tomb. And flashback Looting. Draw more lands, which is fine. Like I said, we're going to discard both our Dredgevines. I don't think there's any reason to keep them. We could hardcast one next turn, but I think I'd rather just play my Angler. Next turn I'll have 4 lands in play. This can put a card in the graveyard. So I'll have 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure I can delve like nothing relevant with Angler, and still have enough mana to do everything I want to next turn. But we should be fine. Now, hopefully our opponent doesn't have like Scavenging Ooze, Because Ooze is like the only card that most people, not most people, but like that green decks can have main deck that really hurts the deck, obviously. Sometimes like Tron decks will have Relics main, but that's about it. Relic of Progenitus and Scavenging Ooze are the only real main deck cards that really like hate the graveyard. Drawing a Grave Troll. Well, we can pitch that with a Lightning Axe later, potentially. This Wooded Foothills actually needs to search up we already have our 1/4, so it's gonna have to deal us 3 more damage. Which isn't like the worst. I could make it come to play tapped. We still get a mana though from the Delve from putting the Wooded Foothills in the graveyard. So let's count this out. So we have 3, 4 mana, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're gonna play Foothills then, because I need to keep my Vengevines and my Gravecrawler in my graveyard. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could. It's like, do I want to? I guess I can take 3, and then I have a Knot of the Bone, which can gain us the life back later. It's either that or like exiling the Knot of the Bone to gain 2 life. But I think Knot of the Bone's worth more than 2 life over the long term. So yeah, we'll just play it untapped. Our opponent's playing a black-green deck, so I don't think there's going to be a counter spell. So Zango's going to come down. We can cast a Gravecrawler. Now we got 2 Vengevines. And, a black-green deck that's trying to, like, play Fair Magic is not going to be impressed with these Vengevines. But who knows? Maybe they're doing something interesting. Is this a Murderous Cut? They were delving a card there for a second. Yeah, there we go. Murderous Cut. Murderous Cutting a Vengevine. Don't think that's where our opponent really wants to be right now, but we're going to take 8 damage. And the next turn we have like even more power facing them. We do have enough lands where we can almost just hardcast this Grave Troll. Even though right now it's not good. There's only 1 creature in the graveyard. What is this? 6 mana? Death Cloud for 4. Huh. I guess, yeah, that's 1 extra mana because of that. So this is like the rock. Good old Death Cloud deck. Okay. So we're just not really... I guess we're just both discarding all our hands. Okay. That's gonna be kind of good. So they're gonna have like 2 lands left, and we're gonna have none, and then we're just gonna play from there. And they don't really have any sort of value. This does discard our Grave Troll, but we're not gonna be dredging because we do need to hit lands. So I'm just gonna take natural draws here, hoping to find lands. If we find 2 lands, we could just play this Gravecrawler, the one in our graveyard, get our Vengevines back. So, not dredging. There's 1 land. So we have 1 Overgrown Tomb left in our deck, and we have 1 Blood Crypt. And then 1 Swamp. Okay. Getting beat down by this Treetop Village. I think I need to fetch here, because this Foothills is going to make me take 3 if I don't. Like I said, we only have 1 Swamp, and then these 2 lands. We have Bloodstained Mires left. If I hit a Mire, a Cliffs, anything other than a Woodhills, I can go off next turn. Murderous Cut would also not be bad to kill the Treetop Village. I'm trying to think which one's better. Probably the Overgrown Tomb, because if we can get Cliffs, that lets us go off. So we want to get a green source. Okay. Come on, land. Not dredging. And we do hit a Cliffs. Lucky us. Also, good to note is Ghost Quarter would have been fine there. We could have Ghost Quartered our own land. We could have played Gravecrawler, then Ghost Quarter our land, get our Swamp, and then play Gravecrawler. It does leave us with only a Swamp in play, but it's better than dying, so... Now the question is, do I want to attack here? And we want to leave back Vengevines to block, because Gravecrawlers can't block. We don't want to die to this treetop. If we leave back one Vengevine, I think that's pretty safe, though. Because to attack with the treetop, they have to tap out. Or, not tap out, but they have to tap low. I think we're going to attack with one Vengevine, hope they don't have like another Murderous Cut, I suppose. Yeah, it puts pressure on them, leaves them dead next turn. And there we go, we won the game. That was interesting. I mean, even though we got Death Clouded for 4, still was able to get double Vengevine to play. Not many modern decks can do that, honestly. Come back from like a Death Cloud for 4, sweeping the entire board. To be honest, I've not played against the black-green Death Cloud deck with this deck. It's not a matchup that I found to be very popular in Modern, so I'm not 100% sure how to sideboard here. I think I probably want Duresses. If I've played against Death Cloud like once or twice before in Modern, like over the years, and I feel like Duress is probably good. I'm just trying to think what I want to take out. Probably Abrupt Decays are not the best. I'm not even sure what these Lightning Axes either. I mean, I guess they can hit lands. Dark Blast. I definitely want this Life from the Loam. I think that's could potentially be good if they're gonna try and get rid of all their lands. Wonder if Murder King is any good here. I know I want to keep bringing some Duresses. I'm just trying to think if I want to bring the full 4 Duresses. Don't think I want Grudges. Don't think I don't want multiple Gnaws. I think having one's fine. In most matchups, you want like one just in case the matchup comes down to a point where you need to gain some life. And it doesn't usually like hurt you that much. I don't think Spellskate's that good either. Funny enough, if they're playing like Liliana's very not good at all against their deck. They don't even want to uptick sometimes, because what if we discard our Grave Troll? I'm going to take out these Lightning Axes, because we didn't see any creatures there. I'll keep in a Murderous Cut, because it can kill lands, and in general it's just good. Okay. Death Cloud, eh? Okay, this hand's pretty good. Not like, I guess not pretty good, but it's like a good enough hand. Double Faithless Looting is very powerful. Having all 3 of our Overgrown Tombs, though. And a Gravecrawler. So we just need to hit, some action. This hand's fairly Inquisition-proof. Or Thoughtseize or any discard spell. Another Search for Tomorrow. Well, let's roll. That's not a bad one either. We're just going to take the hit here. Go for Faithless Looting. Murder King. And some more zombies. Well, they're all zombies, actually. Zombie Fish, Zombie Warrior, and Zombie Troll. I think we're going to discard a Gravecrawler and a Murder King, I think. Gravecrawler, like I said, can come back off of any of these zombies. Murder King's kind of late game oriented. Not the best right now. There's a Wayfinder, which is actually good. That actually lets us see more cards if we're trying to find a Dredger. I think I want to do that. Also, if our opponent's trying to Death Cloud us out of the game, hitting lands would be nice. So we do see a Grave Troll, 2 more Wayfinders gone. We get a Ghost Quarter. It's actually pretty good. Ghost Quarter can get rid of their lands. I do like having these Ghost Quarters as like spell lands. Like, they are lands, but most of the time, like, a lot of Dredge decks were playing 20 lands. This list has 22, and then you count them as spells, kind of. Because, it's it doesn't really add to like colored mana, which is very important. Like a lot of our turns are going to be very mana intensive. Omston and Baloth. Okay. I guess that's a little annoying, but I don't think that's a real issue for our deck. So we're just going to dredge now. Only really dredge to Dredgevine that matters. We could go Angler here. Just get one Vengevine back and start attacking, which is probably fine. Our opponent doesn't even have the 3 swamps to Death Cloud us yet. And Death Cloud would only be for 2 if they play a swamp or something like that. I think we can manage that. We can also play a Troll and then play Gravecrawler, but I don't... Maybe we want to play this Troll because then it lets us put our Grave Troll back in the graveyard. I actually think that's probably correct here. Get back a Vengevine. Now I'll start attacking. Now the Baloth just doesn't look that impressive. Like I guess it could be used as an aggressive creature to attack us, but I guess I don't know if it's out of the sideboard or if it's a main deck card. I'll block with a Satyr here. Yeah. We're able to leave up regen mana for our Troll, but I don't think that's what we were worried about. So we do have an Abrupt Decay. Let's discard our Troll then. I feel like if we dredge our life from the loam, it's going to be very hard to lose this game. Hit a Dark Blast. So we don't have any more dredgers other than the Dark Blast. So we could go... I guess we don't have any way to play 2 creatures right now. We could Faithless Looting, see what we find. I'll dredge that. And we just drew a card. I got rid of Grave Troll. And our Dark Blast. Thing is, Ghost Quarter is not the best in this matchup because I'm sure they play a ton of basics actually with their Search for Tomorrow, so we can get rid of their Treetop Village as a land, but it's still, well, we don't answer that. But they still get a mana, so we don't deny them mana like in other matchups where they play very few basics and Ghost Quarter could just act like a strip mine. But we are attacking for 6 right now. Yeah, not able to get our second Vengevine back right now, but that's okay. I think the plan is just attack and then pass the turn. Or I could play this Angler. The only reason I would hold it back is because we want to be able to make sure that we can, like, if we mill 1 Gravecrawler, then next turn we can play 2 creatures and get back to the Vengevine. But we might even be able to do that with Temerat's activation next turn. So I think I'm actually just going to play this Angler here. Just put pressure on the board. It's a blocker as well. At this point, we kind of just want to get rid of like spells and lands most of the time. But not all our lands, because like I said, Life from the Loam would be good against the Death Cloud deck. I wonder if they're playing Smallpox. Seems like a card that would fit in their deck. Damnation. That's a little rough. Was not expecting that. But we're not in the worst spot. We do have Rat, which is a way to trigger the zombie, to put a zombie to play and then be able to trigger Gravecrawlers, but we haven't milled our Rat anyways. Yeah, let's just dredge the Grave Troll. We hit more dredgers, but we didn't hit much else. So I guess we just go Faithless Looting at this point. I'll get a Grave Troll. More Vengevines. We have 16 cards left in our deck. It's always worthy to note that. I think we just get another Grave Troll then. Grave Crawler. We haven't hit our rat yet. We could even start just casting these hard casting these Grave Trolls. It's not an unreasonable thing to do. We have a Knot of the Bone though, so shouldn't be worried about dying. We're just gonna pass here. That might be the plan next turn. I'll dredge this, and if we don't hit our rats to get back our Vengevines, then I'll just probably hard cast Grave Troll. We can probably only dredge one more time with Grave Troll, because after this time we'll have 4 cards left in our deck, and decking is actually, it's not usually an issue, but it's something to, you know, note about. It's not irrelevant. Thragtusk is a little annoying. I think we're just gonna gnaw here. Up to 53 life, okay. I don't think we're losing this game to life then. I think what we're more worried about is decking and making sure that we can kill them before we deck. I'm trying to think is that if we just want to start taking regular draws and hopefully draw a zombie. How many zombies do we have left? We milled 3 anglers. We have 1, 2... Oh, no, wait. We've milled 4 anglers, sorry. We have 2 grave crawlers in here, so we have 2 more grave crawlers in our deck. We have 2 more Lawless Trolls. There's also Murder King. I think we actually just take draws, because the only way we're going to lose is to decking. And if we just draw, take regular draws, I don't think we can lose. Alternatively, we can we could dredge the Stinkweed Imp, play it if we don't hit anything, then sack it to Murder King next turn, and then the following turn be able to play Murder King into zombies. I kind of like that. It's a little bit, like, dredges 1 less, gives us 5 cards, but it also lets us ensure that we go off the following turn. So we hit another Gravecrawler, hit a Troll, still have not hit our rat. There was one point where I was playing 2 rats in this deck, 2 Rotting Rats, because I kind of liked being able to do this. But after talking to Legion, the guy who won the festival with it, they said that they thought 1 rat was only needed. So sacrifice, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice that. Get back our Murder King. And we're going to take a regular draw now. I would not like to dredge. Oh, now we draw a rat. Okay. We could play this rat. Make them discard their last card. But then we have to discard a card too. And I kind of want to keep both of these, so I think we just go for Murder King. I believe we have 1, 2, 3... Yeah, we have all 4 Vengevines. There's a Gravecrawler. And there's the triggers. I think in general, like, Black-Green the Rock is one of the better matchups. It's probably like one of the, you know, fairest kind of deck that just want to grind you out. And that's what this version of Dredgevine is good against. He's going to attack with 4 Vengevines. He'll block one of them. He'll go to... Our opponent will go down to 12, unless they... Okay, they're activating Treetop, so they're going to block 2 of them, which is fine. So they're going to go to 8, then get a Beast token. Yep, we are gonna take the hit, I guess. The only reason they would do this is if they're gonna play a Death Cloud for a large amount. So how much can they do it for? 1, 2, 3. But they played this land though, so wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 mana, so they could do it for 3. And I guess that leaves us with 2 lands, but I don't think that's an issue for us though. I think we just take this. We are low on time also because I had a bit of um, issue setting up everything, but I don't think it should be an issue. I'm trying to think what they could have here. Another damnation? I guess? Yeah, there's another damnation. That's fine, we have this rats. No, would not like to dredge. Thank you very much. Yeah, they don't have any cards in hand. The one thing with rats is when it comes into play, there's a trigger to discard a card, and if your opponent kills it in response to the trigger, you have no time to actually cast Gravecrawler. It doesn't usually come up, but that is a potential thing that people could do to break up that sequence. Okay, and we do win the match. Like I said, this deck is favored against the Jund decks, the Grixis decks, the fair decks of the formats, and this is probably the biggest case of being a fair deck. Good old green-black Death Cloud, the Rock. So, good matchup for us round 1. Good start. We'll see how we move on in the rest of the daily. And we'll be back with the next round then.